Let's go. Batter up. We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. Wow!
My name is Ovi RM, and I'm the reporter for the Connecticut School of Broadcast. I had the privilege to interview Roberto Mercado, who is the New Britain High School varsity baseball coach since 2011.
So coaching philosophy, and everybody talks about being a student athlete and being a student first, and obviously our players understand they need to be eligible to be on a team, but being in our program we hold our players to a higher standard of doing community service. We're involved, if you ask around New Britain, the baseball program has been in positive light as of late. And part of that, it's with all our coaches and our players understanding our philosophy and what we try to instill in our guys to make sure that they're good people, and we want to get guys to move on to college. And one of the biggest things, and again, that takes time. Building a culture just doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And back in 2011, we had a really good first year, and we continued, and we had some struggles the following years, but the same expectations from every player and expectations of being good on and off the field continued, and we created a great culture here where guys understand that they're expected to be good students and be good people. And game of baseball has many life lessons, and teaching these guys to be great fathers one day, good husbands, and representing the program in a positive light. So that's something, obviously we want to win championships and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's all about creating good people and moving on to society and giving back to New Britain and wherever they end up deciding to be.
The Golden Hurricane baseball team are going on 5 consecutive winning seasons. Much of the support that Coach Mercado brings to the team is an upbeat culture where parents come to the game to see their children play. He recommends parents to be involved with their kids.
The biggest thing is just being supportive, show up to games. That's one of the biggest impacts that parents can do, is just be there for them, and guys are struggling, they could look in the stands. And I remember playing, I'd always look in the stands to see where my parents were, and they were supportive, and they were just there. And, they didn't need to tell me anything, but just their presence made a huge difference. And, I think that's a huge part of players' confidence and feeling good and knowing that they're loved. And we have a family created in our field, on the field, but obviously that at-home presence and seeing their family in the stands is a huge part. And if you come to our games, you'll see quite a bit of parents here, cousins, so it's a good culture we have here.
Besides coaching baseball, Coach Mercado sends a roster every year to the school staff, where he is able to communicate not only with his players but also with their teachers. The teachers are no stranger to the higher standards Coach Mercado instills in his players. He enforces those standards to all teachers and students in the hallways and in the classrooms, as he is also the dean of New Britain High.
One thing we do every year is we send our roster to the entire school system, so they know who's on our team and they're held to high standards. And if there is any issues, they contact me, and the other way as well. If they're doing something positive, I'd like to know about that as well. So my players know that, and they understand that, and they respect that. So it's worked out well, and the guys have great attitudes. They come here to work and get better, and discipline usually isn't a concern with my guys.
So you've been a head coach since 2010. How do you handle the tryouts and the cut process?
It's tough. Obviously cutting a player is one of the hardest things to do in coaching. Is you don't want to send a kid home who wants to be part of a program, but we have a rubric system where they're graded on multiple different things, and we have multiple coaches that analyze and see what they can do in a short amount of time. And we tell the guys at the end of the tryout, we post ID numbers. We don't like to put names on when we post it up, so kids don't feel like, oh, I didn't make the team, that my name's not on there. So we do ID numbers to make it easier for the guys. And I also make it a point to bring some kids in who got cut and say, listen, you still have a couple years left, work hard in the off season and do those things to give yourself the best opportunity to make the team next year. So I have a player this year who was cut 3 years in a row, made it his senior year, worked his tail off, and you know what, he was rewarded to be part of the program. So we always tell our guys to continue to work and get better, and the opportunity will be there.
The Golden Hurricane baseball team are without their top all-star players, resulting in graduation. The team will be filled with young sophomore athletes to fill in the loss. Coach is not worried as they have potential to step up to the varsity level and compete, trying to make their 6th consecutive playoff run.
Got a lot of young guys that are going to step in, and it's still early on in the season, but we're a week away from our first game, so we have to get ready in a hurry.
Next Tuesday, New Britain High School Golden Hurricanes will start their Division Double-L competition versus Southington Blue Knights at Beehive Field in New Britain. Good luck, Coach Mercado. Go Canes!